it's time to brace yourself for some major shakeups when it comes to your business, because Mars, the planet of action, of energy, of drive, of motivation, is going to be spending an unusually long time in the signs of Cancer and Leo over the next 8 months. And while it's there, it's going to be doing a retrograde. So this transit can bring some unexpected shifts, some emotional intensity, and bursts of creativity. But it's really important that you know how to work with it in your business so that you don't feel burnt out, depleted, or passive aggressive. In this video, I'm going to show you how to work with this transit so that you come out the other side feeling inspired and motivated to take bigger, bolder action in your business. Let's talk about Mars. Mars is the planet of action, the planet of courage, the planet of initiation, the planet of enthusiasm, motivation, drive, energy. This is what the planet Mars, the red planet, represents for us. And when it's in the emotional sign of Cancer, which is traditionally ruled by the moon, this means that we can get Mars operating in a very different way than it's used to. But when it moves into that more expressive fire sign of Leo, that's when we've got Mars doing its thing, able to express and give us a little bit more of a boost when it comes to our creativity. But it's really important that we think about this Mars in Cancer transit first of all. This is happening now at the time of recording. Mars has just moved into Cancer and it will be there until November when it moves into Leo, and then it's going to start moving backwards in December from the sign of Leo all the way back into Cancer. And we're going to see this transit playing out, this Cancer Leo Mars issue, until April 2025. It is not a short transit, so it's really important that you're aware of it because Mars is a major player in our business. It is a major planetary player in our business. So it's very important that you understand how Mars works, especially when it's in the signs of Cancer and Leo and when it's moving retrograde. For those of you who don't know, retrograde planets are not actually moving backwards. It's just from our perspective on Earth, they are moving backwards. It's when they're kind of closer in orbit to Earth and it seems like they're moving slower and moving backwards. And this tends to heighten their effect on us, the planet's effect on us when they're moving retrograde. When Mars is retrograde in that later part of the year and into January, this is going to be a time for recalibration. A Mars retrograde is a real time for not just rethinking, which is Mercury's domain, but redoing things and taking aligned action and feeling into our energy more. And what is it that's really feeling exciting? What is it that's really making us enthusiastic about the work that we're doing? What is it that is really draining us? A Mars retrograde gives us a great opportunity to reflect on those things and to start to work on the things that are going to bring the greatest energetic reward. A general overview of Mars in Cancer and Leo in our business. When Mars is in Cancer, it's a time to really lean into your emotional intelligence in business. You're going to prioritize those Cancer type activities because it's Mars, it's action. Right? You're going to take action that feels aligned with your emotions. It's going to be aligned with your values. It's going to be focused on those foundational projects and things that feel nourishing and supportive to you. It's also going to be quite focused on creating safe spaces, whether that be within your team, creating a better, more nurturing environment for your team, whether it's your coaching containers, your online courses, your business in general. You're going to want to focus on creating and delivering in a safe way. You may actually find yourself feeling quite sensitive when things are not delivered in a emotionally safe way. If things feel threatening at all, Cancer energy is very protective. It's protective for a reason. It's a highly sensitive sign. So it's very important when Mars is in Cancer that we make time to feel our feelings And we also are aware of not letting our feelings take over our business. You know, yes, it's really important to acknowledge what's going on within you and how you're responding. You may feel a little more sensitive. You may feel like you're getting a little bit more passive aggressive because Mars cannot take action in the way that it would normally do in, say, for instance, a fire sign. But it is very intuitive. And so this is an opportunity to tap into your intuitive decision making, your intuitive activities. Be aware of emotional overreactions. Be aware of that defensiveness tendency, because that is that Cancer energy. Now, when Mars moves into Leo, which will happen in November, this is an opportunity to work with that fire energy. This is an opportunity to shine, to take center stage in some way, to push forward on creative projects, on projects that are you feel really passionate and fired up about. It's a great time to market more boldly, to embrace your leadership within your business, to take more risks. When Mars is in Cancer, risk taking is going to feel a little more difficult. Mars in Leo, you might be feeling like you can do more, take more risks. You might be feeling like you're up for more challenges, but you really need to watch out for ego getting in the way of your business, and ego clashes, overspending, those kind of shadowy sides of Leo energy. There's a lot to unpack here, but it's important to know that Mars does not usually spend so long in a sign or in two signs. This is because we're going to experience this Mars retrograde. A Mars retrograde is a time for redoing and recalibrating. It is not necessarily a time to push forward with brand new projects. It is a time, like a Mercury retrograde, to be more reflective on what you're doing. And it's a powerful period for checking in on where you're directing your energy and drive. If something isn't a project or a partnership, isn't a hell yes for you, it's a no. When Mars is retrograde, you need to be really aware of that. If it's not a hell yes, it's a no. That is the type of thing that Mars retrograde will draw your attention to. And this is the time to pull back on anything that feels forced. So any business activity that feels forced, inauthentic, or unaligned, especially when Mars is in Cancer, but also when it's retrograde, this is the time to focus on what's truly igniting your passion, what's truly igniting your enthusiasm. And you're going to be revisiting things and goals that need a bit more clarity, that need a bit more groundwork to be done, or that you just haven't felt enthusiastic about. Like, you're going to be like, do I really want to be doing this? Is this really feeling good? Is this really feeling like it's the right thing to do in my business now? Am I motivated to take this action? And you might find that you feel, when Mars is retrograde, that you feel demotivated in your business, especially if you have a Mars ruled chart or a Mars ruled business. So that means if your rising sign is Aries or Scorpio, you might feel like your energy, your motivation, your drive is either inconsistent or a little bit off. So you just can't get the enthusiasm that you normally would for things. That's something just to be aware of and to allow yourself to sit with that, to be with that. That's just the phase that we're in during a Mars retrograde, especially if we are Mars ruled people. Don't beat yourself up over it. It is a cycle. The cycle will change, but use that cycle effectively and powerfully in your business. Don't continue to push through, because that will only make you more and more depleted. It's time to kind of take a little step back and revise what you're doing, get into alignment with what you're really feeling good and enthusiastic and motivated for. And that will help to sustain your energy over the time that Mars is retrograde. It's also a time that progress can slow down, okay? Because Mars is not moving in its usual way. It's not moving forward. It's not, it's not taking names. It's not taking major action. It's kind of in this flux state. So it can slow down our progress, but this makes it a perfect time to reassess our approach. Just like I say with Mercury retrograde, this is a fantastic time to think about those foundational activities, rebuilding on those, re-energizing strategies that have lost momentum. like revisiting activities, strategies that have lost momentum for you and checking, is this something that I'm still passionate about, or is it time to leave that behind? You can use this time to pause, to plan, to prepare, and ensure that when Mars goes direct again, which it will do, and we get a new fresh energy of Mars, you'll be ready to move forward with clarity, with conviction, with purpose, with motivation. You'll be feeling that like, I can move forward, I can take action, especially if you've used that retrograde time to prepare yourself. You're going to be much faster and much more effective at getting things done when Mars moves forward again. Let's dive into a sign by sign breakdown so you can really understand what's going on for your rising sign. These are going to be short, sharp horoscopes based on your rising sign. I just want to preface this by saying I use the whole sign house system for all of my forecasting and all of my client work. I am a traditional tropical zodiac astrologer, Western tropical zodiac astrologer. Consider that if you're listening to this. Listen for your rising sign. If you don't know your rising sign, listen for your sun sign. The rising sign is going to be the most accurate because that is how we set up the astrology chart. Okay, but before we dive into the sign by sign breakdown, I would love to know, what is your rising sign and what are you already feeling about this time of Mars in Cancer? What is it already bringing up for you? Is there anything that you've noticed already about this transit? Because we are in it. Let me know in the comments below. Okay, let's start with Aries Rising. So for Aries Rising, Mars is going to be and is currently in your fourth house, and it's going to be moving into your fifth house. So you're going to expect shifts in your home or foundation. Like, because we're talking about business here, I'm talking about the foundation or the home of your business. You're going to be experiencing potentially shifts in your workplace, your workspace. If you're an entrepreneur and you work from home, consider that you're going to want to kind of create a bit of a shift in your workspace. You might want to make it feel more nourishing and supportive with that Cancer energy. You're going to want to think about your team dynamics as well. If you have a team, how supportive and safe is that team environment? Does it need some additional nourishment or support? Are you feeling a little protective about your team? Are you feeling a little protective about your work in general and your space in general? That is okay. That's to be expected when Mars is in your fourth house. So later, when Mars moves into your fifth house of creative projects, this is when you might get a bit of a boost around your personal brand, your business brand, or your marketing efforts. That's really going to showcase your unique personality, and it's going to allow you to take the stage a bit more and to feel more expressive. Be really mindful of balancing your self-expression with your business strategy. And that's going to be really important when Mars starts moving retrograde as well. You're going to be rethinking all of the things to do with how you're expressing yourself in your business and how you're supporting yourself in the foundation or the home of your business as well. So for Aries Rising, it's going to be really important that you check your energy and make sure the creative projects that you're working on feel aligned with your energy and your motivation and your enthusiasm. I think during that Mars retrograde, projects that are not aligned with that are going to fall away. You're going to be able to let some things go and really refocus on the things that really light you up. Okay, Taurus Rising. With Mars traveling through your third and fourth houses, this is a time you're going to be driven to revamp your communication strategy. You're going to want to create new content potentially, or engage in something related to your community building. Maybe it's your network building, but local network building. When Mars moves through your fourth house into Leo, you're also going to want to boost something around your home office, the foundation of your business as well. Remember, it is Leo energy for you in the home. So there's something there about feeling more able to express yourself within the foundation of your business, within your environment, and maybe allow yourself some more creativity or expression or fun or dance or play in your home or in that foundation of your business, your home environment for your business. But when Mars retrogrades, it's time to take a step back. It's time to review your plans involving communication or local engagement, how you're doing your local networking. If you feel drained by certain collaborations or by certain communication projects, as I've talked about many times before, the third house can often be really tied to our email marketing strategy. So there could be something there that's not feeling right. This is a time for you to pivot, refine, redo, something to do with that strategy. And obviously, when it's retrograding again through Leo, that's another time to refine, redo the way that you're expressing yourself and the way that you're expressing yourself when it comes to the foundations, the home, the team of your business. Okay, Gemini rising. So the business focus when Mars is in your second and third houses is really on financial growth, and it's setting budgets, it's refining your pricing strategies, it's refining and aligning your offers with your energy. Is my energy, Mars, aligned with this offer, this value, this thing that I am generating income with? Is my energy aligned with that? That's what you're considering with Mars in Cancer in your second house. As Mars moved into Leo before the retrograde, you're going to be doing more when it comes to communication projects, when it comes to your email marketing, when it comes to things like that. There's going to be a bit more energy and enthusiasm and expression around your small communication projects. And when I say small, I mean things like email communication. It could have to do with your sales copy in general as well, your website copy, like things like that. Think like on that level of communication project. As Mars moves retrograde, this is when you're going to be really scrutinizing your finances. Now, first, it's going to retrograde through Leo. It's going to move into Leo and then come backwards. So it's going to go into Leo. You're going to be rethinking I keep saying rethinking. That's a Mercury thing. Redoing. I think it's really important for you to know that Mars retrograde is not necessarily about rethinking. It's actually about redoing, realigning your energy. You're going to be realigning or redoing, reconnecting with those communication projects and going, again, is this aligned? Is this aligned? Am I expressing my potential here? Am I communicating in a style that feels really good and playful and energetic? Because that's that Leo energy. Then it's going to move into Cancer, which is your second house. So we're moving backwards into Cancer, your second house. This is where you're going to scrutinize the money. This is where you're going to get really into it when it comes to your financial decisions. It is Mars. It's giving you an opportunity to really realign yourself with how you are making and spending money. What decisions, what actions are you taking when it comes to money? Are those aligned with your energy? Are you feeling enthusiastic about these financial decisions? Those are the kinds of questions you might be asking yourself when Mars is in Cancer in your second house. And remembering the Cancer energy is kind of going to bring this extra focus on maybe protecting the financial resources. Maybe it's also going to bring aspects of wanting to feel more secure when it comes to your finances as well. Cancer rising. For you, this is a very important transit. Mars in your first house is going to really supercharge your own personal development. It's going to supercharge your personal brand. It's bringing a lot of energy and focus to that first house. So you can use this time to really assert yourself, your personal brand, your brand narrative, your message. This is a great thing for you. It gives a lot of energy, brings you a lot of personal energy when Mars comes to your first house. However, your first house is Cancer. So there is a little bit there of you can feel a little bit more emotionally reactive. So that's something to be aware of, especially because it's activating your first house of self. When Mars moves into your second house, it's the money house. So when it goes into Leo, you are going to want to maybe spend more. In the first instance of Mars moving into your second house before it goes retrograde, you might be feeling like either you are putting more offers out there, making potentially more money, but also spending more money because Mars is activating that second house. It's Leo for you. That can have a tendency to want to make grand, extravagant purchases, but it can also make grand, extravagant offers as well. So you might balance that out with Mars there. You want to be aware of balancing that out so that you don't end up overspending when Mars is in your second house. When Mars goes retrograde, though, you're really going to want to check in with your spending. First of all, you're going to want to check in with your spending. You might want to rein in on some of those bigger expenses. That might be what happens when Mars goes retrograde. Or you might feel a little bit more constrained around your finances in some way. You might feel a little bit like you can't, make the purchases or investments that you really want to make for whatever reason. It might feel a little bit crunchy in there, but I would encourage you to use that time as an opportunity to refine and realign your offers so that when Mars moves direct again, you can go out there and sell with this authenticity, with this alignment of your energy. It's going to feel really good to you. When Mars retrogrades through your first house, through Cancer, this is a time to really align your personal values. You'll want to realign your energy with what's genuinely reflecting who you are and what your business is all about. Leo Rising. Mars is activating your 12th house and your first house during this time. So you are going to be really prompted when Mars is in Cancer to reflect on what's going on with your subconscious blocks. What's going on there? Like, are you holding yourself back? There's going to be a big focus there on moving through your stuff. And this can be really powerful for your business because it's like the backroom things. It could be your stuff that you've got to move through, as in some self-sabotaging patterns, but it could also be the behind the scenes of the business too. Some stuff that you've just got to do that's been sitting there that you haven't had enough time or energy or enthusiasm for. When Mars comes into your 12th, it's an opportunity to do those projects, to get through those jobs that you have put off in that hidden area of your business and your life. When Mars moves into your first house, of course, that's really activating for you as a Leo rising. You're going to want to get out there and get expressive. Personal brand gets a boost. You as a person and as a business owner get a boost from that Mars in your first house. But it is, again, a bit of a caution because when you get a boost in that Leo house, there can be a little bit of a tendency for maybe some ego clashes. And when Mars goes retrograde, you're going to have to reconsider some of those things. There could be things that you are doing or projects that you're working on that don't feel in alignment with who you are. And maybe you took them on because it felt like an ego boost at the time. And now you're like, I don't really want to be doing that. So acknowledge that for you. Acknowledge where your energy is and what feels good, what you feel enthusiastic about. When it moves back to your 12th house, so when Mars retrogrades back to your 12th, this is a bit of a time for retreat for you. I would encourage you not to take on too much when Mars is moving backwards in Cancer. You're going to kind of want to take things a little slower. I will put the dates in the show notes because I can't remember them all as I'm talking right now, but I just want you to be aware that it is a little bit trickier to take action when Mars is moving retrograde in your 12th. Things naturally have to slow down. It is a cycle that requires some retreat and reflection and reset. So use that time powerfully so that you can come out the other side ready to roll. Okay, Virgo rising. Virgo. Mars is going to be moving through your 11th and your 12th houses. This is really going to highlight your bigger picture networking, your bigger picture goals for your business, the community that you're building around your business, and some bigger collaborations that you might want to do. Mars is activating your 11th and it's going to activate your 12th. So if you didn't listen to the Leo section, it's important for you to know that when Mars is in your 12th, it's going to bring up some hidden stuff. It's going to bring up some potentially some subconscious stuff that needs to be processed, some maybe self-sabotage patterns, things like that. But it is also going to bring up the back rooms of your business, things that need to be done, things that need to be taken care of before you can move forward and, kind of take on the world again, Virgo rising. So it's a great time when Mars is retrograde to not only reassess what's going on in the behind the scenes of the business. When Mars is in Leo, there's a bit of activity there happening behind the scenes. Like, what projects have you put on the back burner that need to be completed? What things that nobody sees need to be fixed? Like, this could be something related to your email marketing system, for example, or your website or your SEO. Like, this is a great time to actually, for you, because it's behind the scenes, but it's related to visibility, fix something to do with your SEO, your search engine optimization, because that's going to help you become more visible, which is what Leo energy wants from you. So that's an idea that how you can use that in your business. When it's retrograding through your 11th house of communities, networks, and those bigger goals and dreams that you have for your business, it's time to reassess, reconsider, and realign yourself with groups that feel good to you. It's time to let go of groups, associations, networks that are not feeling good, that don't motivate you, that you're not enthusiastic about anymore. It's time to really notice and get realigned and reset your energy when it comes to your groups and collaborations. You may want to find connections that are serving your vision instead of getting stuck with groups and networks that are no longer feeling aligned. Libra Rising. So for the Libra Risings out there, Mars is going to be in your 10th house, and your 11th house. So Cancer is your 10th house, Leo is your 11th house. So really consider that Mars in your 10th and 11th is going to focus on elevating your public profile, big picture dreams, and your networks, your collaborations on a bigger scale, like what communities you're involved in, what referral networks you have, that kind of thing. But when Mars moves retrograde, you're going to want to reconsider those things. You're going to want to reconsider, first of all, the networks, the communities on a bigger level that you're involved in, and check that your energy is still aligned. And if it's not, you need to leave that behind while this Mars retrograde happens. It's going to really clear the way for you when it comes to that. Now, when it moves back into Cancer, into your 10th house, this is when you're going to look at your goals in your business and your public reputation, and whether you are moving things in a way that is aligned with your energy, with your enthusiasm, with your drive, with your ultimate business strategy. Are you in alignment with that? Is your energy in alignment with that? This is a time for you to check that. If things don't feel clear or things are feeling misaligned, you can use that time to redefine what success looks like for you. Scorpio Rising. For Scorpio, Mars is going to be moving through your 9th and your 10th houses. So it's going to start off in Cancer in your 9th, and it's going to move into Leo, your 10th house. So this is the time you're going to really consider expanding your reach, potentially through maybe something like podcasting, maybe PR, maybe something where you're getting your message, your wisdom out to more and more people. You're getting it, broadcasting it to a bigger audience. Or you are thinking about education from you're learning, you're absorbing wisdom, or you're sharing wisdom. You are wanting to push forward when it comes to kind of expansion of your business, whether that be through gaining new knowledge, sharing your knowledge, or getting your message across to more and more people, expanding into different markets, that kind of thing. Now, when Mars moves into your 10th house, this is a real focus on your public reputation. So these two houses obviously lead into each other, but you're going to be really focused on activating your public reputation. There's going to be potentially opportunities that you want to get onto. You're going to want to express yourself more powerfully, more authentically when it comes to what you do and what you want to be known for. Now, when Mars goes retrograde, you're going to be reconsidering all of that, and you're going to be realigning, more importantly, all of that. You're going to want to reflect on how you're expressing yourself, how you are expressing yourself and what you want to be known for. You're going to want to reflect on any expansion plans that feel unaligned, or your energy is just not there. Like, I thought I really wanted to do this thing. I thought I really wanted to have this podcast, but it's draining my energy. Okay, maybe that's a time to kind of scale back on the expansion plans, or reconsider, or adjust. It's a time to pivot and adjust when your energy is off kilter. So scale back if you need to, refine your strategy for greater impact. That's the takeaway here. Sagittarius Rising, your focus is going to be Mars moving through your 8th and your 9th houses. So there's a deep dive here, a deep dive into transformation, into joint ventures, into financial restructuring. And I'm talking about investment restructuring rather than how you making money. It's more about how you looking after your money, investing it. What other ways is money coming to you other than you physically earning it? Financial collaborations, that kind of thing as well. Affiliate agreements, all that stuff. So there's going to be a focus on that. And then when it moves into your ninth, you're going to have that expansion focus. What markets do I want to reach? Do I have more energy to do a podcast now? Where do I want this to go? How can I expand my reach? How can I share my wisdom or gain more wisdom in my chosen profession or in my chosen area, industry, that kind of thing? Mars retrograde for you is really a cue to reassess your expansion plans, the way that you want to grow your business, and the way that you invest or the financial collaborations and partnerships that you're involved in. This is a time to realign your energy with those things and consider, is this feeling right energetically to me? Do I feel excited, motivated, enthusiastic about this or not? Does this need to go? It's time to dig a little deeper as well and renegotiate potentially as well. There's some actions you can take. There's some pivots you can make here. For Capricorn Rising, Mars is going to move through your 7th and 8th houses. So this is going to put the spotlight on your partnerships, on your collaborations. And it's really going to kind of give you a bit more motivation in terms of building partnerships and collaborations. Consider that. And also when Mars moves into your 8th, you're going to have a focus on financial collaborations, affiliate arrangements, things to do with your investments and how you are working with your money are going to be in the spotlight when Mars moves into Leo in your 8th house. So really keep focused on how you are working with your finances, because when Mars goes retrograde, you're going to feel that you really need to realign or readjust or pivot when it comes to your financial collaborations, investments, loans, all of that kind of thing. There's going to be some energy there that needs to be recalibrated. And when it moves back into your 7th, backwards in Cancer, that's when you're going to be rethinking your business partnerships, and not just rethinking them, but again, recalibrating, realigning. What feels good? Do I have motivation, drive, enthusiasm to be in this business partnership? It might be just that you have a client that you're no longer aligned with, or you're really feeling the pressure from clients and you need to readjust and pivot in some way, because the 7th house is often reflective of our client relationships. Aquarius rising. So you are going to have Mars in your 6th and 7th houses. So this is going to really bring focus and energy to your daily routines when it's in the 6th house, productivity, and then when it's in the 7th, partnerships, collaborations, clients. Mars in your 6th house is going to really help you to uncover what's going on when it comes to your systems and processes. This can be really helpful because you're going to get a boost in your ability to get things done with Mars in the 6th. It's a Cancer energy, so there is some emotional vulnerability, I suppose, that comes along with it. You might feel that your systems and processes fluctuate a little bit with your emotional capacity, right? And so that's something to consider, especially as Mars moves retrograde, but I'll get to that in a second. So Mars is going to go into Cancer, your 6th house, and then it's going to move into your 7th house, which is Leo, which is all about your partnerships, client work, all of that stuff. And it's a very expressive sign. So you're going to notice the shift. How are you expressing yourself when it comes to your business client, when it comes to your business relationships, your clients, your customers? What's going on there? How can you really shine in your partnerships or in those collaborations? How can you bring more of yourself, more expression, more enthusiasm to the table when Mars is in your 7th house? Then when it goes retrograde, you're going to realign yourself with all of that. You're going to feel an energetic shift around your business partnerships, your clients. Are they lighting you up? Are you feeling like you're working with the right people? Are you feeling like in your work with people, you're allowed to take center stage? Are you feeling like in your work with people, you're feeling motivated? And I'm talking people, I'm saying partners, business partners, collaborators, clients, in those one-on-one dynamics. Is this feeling good? What needs to pivot or be adjusted so that it would feel better? That's what that Mars retrograde through the 7th is about. When it moves back through your 6th, you're going to be restructuring your systems and processes so that they feel more energetically aligned, so that your energy is more protected because it is Cancer. So there's going to be this sense of, I need to protect my energy potentially with these systems and processes, how am I going to adjust them so that they can do that? Lucky last always, Pisces rising. So Mars is going to be moving through your 5th and 6th houses. When Mars is in your 5th, this is a real creative boost. This is a potential to really unlock some playfulness, some creativity, also more, you're already intuitive as a Pisces rising, but there could be a little bit of a boost when it comes to like intuitive downloads coming through that feel really creative and fun. That can happen when Mars goes into that 5th house. You're going to get a focus, an energy boost when it comes to getting playful and creative and doing things to express yourself that you might not ordinarily do. And you're also maybe going to get a boost around your advertising efforts, because the 5th house in business is often associated with advertising and how we market ourselves. So there might be a bit of a energetic boost coming around how you're doing your marketing. When Mars moves into Leo, that's when it's going to move through your house of systems, processes, routines. So you're going to get a bit of a boost in that area, making sure that your systems, processes, and routines are working for you, are allowing you to get the expression that you desire through your business, are allowing you to be creative when you need to be, that kind of thing, because it's Leo energy. And so the systems and processes need to support that self-expression in some way. And when Mars goes retrograde, you're really going to have to recalibrate that. You're going to have to adjust and pivot and think, does this system, this process, this routine support me being creative, support me being self-expressed in my business? And if it doesn't, it may be time to go or pivot and adjust. Then when it moves back into Cancer, into your 5th house, again, this is a similar theme coming through because it's the 5th house, but it's more around, am I not only energetically aligned, but emotionally aligned as well, because it's Cancer energy, with how I am marketing my business, advertising my business, getting creative and playful in my business. How well, both energetically and emotionally aligned, am I with this? If I'm not, it's time to pivot, adjust, let go. That's what that Mars retrograde is going to give you. Okay, we have been through all 12 signs. Let me know how you go in the comments if this is feeling like it resonates for you. We are already in this energy. It is happening. We're going to be in it for the next 8 months until April 2025. Mars is going to be in Cancer for the next couple of months. Then it's in Leo, then it's coming back through Leo, and then back through Cancer, and it's not going to leave. And then it's going back forwards again. And so it's just doing this dance in the signs of Cancer and Leo until April 2025. So this energy is going to be playing out for you over the next 8 months. It's a really important energy to understand and to work with so that you don't get depleted, you don't get passive aggressive, you don't get burnt out, you kind of flow with it. This is why I love working with astrology and being a participant in a transit as opposed to just ignoring it and pushing through anyway. If you work with the energy, you're going to be far more balanced and have much more flow in your business, and therefore the potential for more success, because you're not going to be derailed by this energy. Okay, now that you've watched this, I have other forecast episodes for you to check out. I have a Q3 overview for you to check out if you'd like to look at that, and I will be back very soon, well, in October, with a Q4 forecast for you, so you know what the big transits are to look out for in the final quarter of 2024.